again. Today is October 20th, and I'm just kind of checking in on where my fasting stuff is. And I wrote a list of things to talk about to help me try and not ramble so much, but we'll see what happens. So, um, I fasted from October 1st through October 14th, and I had started dry fasting that Thursday, so Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, and it was Monday afternoon, actually Monday morning, I got a message from a family member asking me to please stop. She didn't want me to end up in the hospital. And as much as I've tried to educate people around me about fasting, she wasn't going to be convinced, and she honestly was really worried about me. I still might have found a way to maybe talk to her about it or tell her, yes, I'll be breaking soon, don't worry, my husband's watching out for me. I've told people about this, so people are, it's not like if I were to faint suddenly, no one would have any idea what was going on. Not that I was really close to fainting at all, but what happened, as I think back on that day, because my brain, it's taken me the last couple of days to figure out what happened that day. Why did I stop fasting? And it was because dry fasting really puts me in a very vulnerable place. I really like what dry fasting does. My body just felt really good in some ways, even though being thirsty is no fun. But it puts me in this really vulnerable place that water fasting doesn't do for me anymore. It used to be when I was fasting for 2 or 3 days, or even just, intermittent fasting, that I was in this really vulnerable emotional state just a couple hours in. But I've built up my fasting muscles, as it were, where it takes me, if I had still been water fasting at that point, I probably would have had the power to say, no, this is okay. I'm fine. I feel great. But because I had stepped into dry fasting and was coming up on those 100 hours, I'm so frustrated right now. Looking back on it, now that it's been several days, I'm so frustrated that I was 6 hours away from 100 hours dry fasted. And if I just kept it to myself or whatever, I would have made that goal, and then I would have stepped right back into saltwater fasting. At least I hope so. So my new rule for fasting, at least for the next little while, for my plans for the next several months, is to not go more than 48 hours and to kind of have that be the extreme. So really not, just not get myself in that vulnerable place where my plans are thrown off. I had some really specific plans for breaking my fast. Today, actually, did I say the 20th? Today's the 21st of October, Sunday the 21st of October 2018. I had really specific plans for breaking my fast today. I was going to eat 3 cucumbers and mix them with apple cider vinegar and, getting my body ready to eat again. And then I'm hosting this family party tonight. And I had this plan on how I was going to break my fast. And because I was kind of derailed in the middle of it, because I didn't really plan at the beginning to do the dry fasting, it just started to feel good and seem like a good idea. I haven't had a plan for this whole week. All the visualization I was doing, all the planning, hour by hour planning that you sometimes have to do when your brain's going to be in a weird place, all that fell out the window. So I didn't stick to the eating plan that I had set up. And it wasn't horrible. I didn't stick to the small fasting windows like I meant to do. And my energy was kind of all over the place because I didn't break the fast the way I wanted to. It's really, really frustrating. I wish I were still fasting right now. On the other hand, I learned some stuff about myself. So I learned that dry fasting makes me really vulnerable, and as powerful as it is for healing and for emotional and spiritual stuff, I need to be careful with it, especially if I'm sharing my fasting experience. So I'm going to post this video on my YouTube, but I'm not going to be sharing any of this on Facebook other than I have a couple of groups where I have permission to say, just put up a link like, I'm vlogging about my fast, here's the link. I have, I think, 2 groups that are going to allow me to do that, just so that I can get some views and so that I know people are watching me. Okay, I'm way off my little list here. So today is day 0, and what I want to do is fast for the remaining 10 days of October, so that I'll have a total of 24 days fasted in October. So October fast. October is the fasting month. It's going to be great. So I need your help, you who are watching this right now. I need you to cheer me on for the next 3 days, because those are the 3 that are hard. And actually day 7, hang on. Day 7 was really hard this last time too. So whatever happens to me day 6, day 7, I need to like be checking in with people. But other than that, at least in my memory, it was really nice and easy. So yeah, I need you guys to help me out. I'm going to continue to wear my number on my hand, so that in real life, as I'm talking to people, if it comes up, or they're asking why I'm not eating at an event or whatever, I can still be open there. I can still educate people. But Facebook just proved to be too intense for some family members of mine. So, I've either been told, when you're fasting, don't tell anybody, because they're going to judge you and discourage you. I thought I was past that, so I thought I'm going to tell everybody so that I can encourage and educate people. And I think I might still do that. I'm going to go as long as in this fast as I can. And going back to the dry fasting, I'm not going to put myself in that really vulnerable state by going more than 48 hours dry fasted, so that I can stay strong and stick to my purpose. Okay. Oh, I guess I pretty much, I mostly stuck to my little list here. Okay, so yeah, for the month of November, like November and December, those are the big holiday months, right? Like there's going to be a party for every social group I'm a part of, for every family group, church group. Everyone's going to have something or some event, or they're going to be going to parties. What I'm imagining is like at work, so-and-so went to a party, they brought half of this pie back. Hey, everybody, please help me eat this pie. Okay, I want to have fasting in place so that I choose when I eat. And I also need to get better at choosing what I eat. I think I said this before, but I am still really working on my self-discipline as far as refeeding, breaking my fast, and sticking to the stuff that I know doesn't bother me. I actually started feeling a little bit sick this week because I didn't have a clear refeed plan for this week. I kind of was gonna keep fasting this week. I didn't have a clear plan, and it showed in my eating. I didn't plan what I was gonna eat, so I ate whatever, whenever. And you can kind of see in my face, like, whatever I lost from the 2 weeks. I've been really bad. I haven't been checking my weight. I'm going to do better at that too this next time around. I'll have like a starting weight, and I'll track that and report that. I was just kind of tracking it and reporting it to myself. But I know I've put some of the weight back on just because of how my clothes feel. And that's fine. Fasting is a great way to lose fat, but you do have to start eating again. And, life is going to take you like this. You're going to gain fat and lose it depending on activity level and everything. It's not like I want to get down to 95 pounds and stay there for the rest of my life. Like, that's obviously not going to happen. Not that that's a great weight for me anyway. I'm 5 feet 6 inches. But, I know things are going to waver. I just want to be more in control of it, and I don't want to be afraid of it. And I would really like to try, fasting for a certain amount of time, and then weighing the food and eating it, and seeing how that correlates directly. Because my whole life weighing myself has been like, gee, I hope the number's down today. Well, did I have a big glass of water? Or did I eat less yesterday than I normally did? Or did I work out really hard? Or did I not get good sleep? Like, there's all this stuff that affects it. And I'd really like to try and dial in most of those variables so that I can see what's going on and not be afraid of what's happening. Because, I definitely have body issues, and like I'd be a little nervous to get on the scale right now after seeing my weight go down so quickly with my 2-week fast, and then knowing that I've eaten this week not the very best, not the very worst I've ever eaten in my life, but not the best either. I'm a little bit nervous to get back on there, and like I can see things in my face and on my body that, like, oh darn, I was hoping that aspect of having lost weight was going to stay with me, and it didn't. Okay, this is not going to be one of those short videos. I'm looking at my little timer. We're already at 10 minutes. So please feel free to listen to this on double speed because I am a rambler. Okay, so my plan for today, said today is day 0. I'm hosting this family party. There is this amazing pumpkin soup that's been cooking for like 3 hours. It's going to be so good. So I'm going to eat some of that. And I made some other really good things. Yeah, so I'm going to enjoy that today on day 0. And then get back into fasting and at least fast through the rest of October. My husband and I set a date to celebrate the half-year anniversary on November 5th. So we've been married for 6.5 years on that day, when we planned quite a while ago to go out to a restaurant on that day. So what I would like to do is after that, on the 5th of November, so fast for the next 14 days after that, eat that day, and then for the rest of November up until I join family for Thanksgiving, continue to fast. And I think I have the body fat to do it. I've already kind of proven that my scheduling can handle it. My teaching isn't too stressful. You know, it's like I've already proven that I can get through 2 solid weeks of work without while fasting, without having any stress. If I just hold off on the dry fasting, as tempting as it is to kind of go into that, it just is it's so great. It feels different in a different way. It takes your brain and your body and your spirit into this different place. So, yeah. So I want to fast for as much as I can in the month of November. I have 3 or 4 days where I'm going to be with family. So like Thanksgiving and a couple days maybe before, or like at least a day before Thanksgiving and maybe a couple of days after that. And I've obviously want to eat Thanksgiving dinner with them. And enjoy being with them for family time. So I think 3 days is what that's going to be, plus my little anniversary day. So I think it would be really great to, again, kind of like I did in October, fast for as many days as possible within the month. And then kind of do the same thing for December. Wouldn't it be great to come out the other end of December, instead of being 8 pounds heavier like I usually am, maybe 10 pounds lighter? I'm actually not sure. I'll do a whole thing tomorrow morning where I weigh myself and write down a bunch of all my numbers. I was gonna like measure my neck and maybe my upper arm or something like that. So yeah, that's the plan. I'm gonna just enjoy today and then fight through the next 3 days. Try and stay busy. It helps if I work all day long and I can stay out of the house. That really helps me. And I'm going to do ice baths every Thursday. That's almost harder than like the actual fasting, but it's just so good for the immune system, and it's a big boost when you are fasting. When you're in that fat burning mode, it just kind of pushes you forward like a day or so because your body fights to reheat itself. So I'm going to try and do it. I probably will just depend on my schedule because my days can be a little bit variable, but every Thursday I'm going to try and do an ice bath, and I'll share that with you guys if anybody's interested. I'm going to keep going to my dance classes, keep up with all my teaching and my playing, and just try and let life go by normally. And I'll still be eating. I'm just eating this stuff and this stuff and this stuff. Okay, I'm not starving. I watched a documentary today on a guy who fasted for 55 days. He started out at 350 pounds, and he did water only. He was not doing salt supplementation. And he did talk about having really intense headaches and really hard days, but he got his blood work done quite regularly. He went to a doctor, I think weekly, where they were checking BMI, body composition, fat loss, muscle loss. They were checking all that stuff and doing blood work on him. He was never short on magnesium. He was never short on potassium. All those little essential things that we think we're going to die if we don't eat for 2 hours. His body had them stored up in his fat, and I know I have them too. I am going to continue to drink my potassium and my sodium, maybe magnesium if I need some, but your body can take care of yourself. I am more and more convinced that we were meant to fast, men and women, for 2, 3, 4, 10 days at a time, and depends on your environment. I read scriptures where I read, Jesus fasted for 40 days. Other people in the Bible fasted for a long time. I'm a member of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, and several prophets in the Book of Mormon fast. It says for many days. And I'm assuming that doesn't mean, 3 days or a week. I'm assuming that can mean a month or two, as these people traveled and, they were traveling to preach the word of God, and they couldn't always, stop somewhere and have a big old meal. A lot of the times they were preaching to people who were hostile to preaching of any kind. So, they'd stop somewhere and try and preach. Oh, these people don't want to hear me. They might even want to kill me. I'm not going to ask them for food. And I can't imagine that there haven't been instances like that in the lives of thousands and thousands of people in the last 1,000 years. It's just been in the last 200 years in our modern society that, thank you, capitalism. And I am a libertarian, so I'm not going to, just blanket blame this on capitalism. But, we need to sell something. Food's an easy thing to sell. It's an easy thing to get people addicted to. So we've been sold on the idea that we need to eat every 2 hours. And then even people who do intermittent fasting, well, you shouldn't go more than 60 hours because that's the starvation point. That's actually, for a lot of people, the click over point when you start burning your body fat. So I just feel like, obviously the mainstream is behind in a lot of things, but this is one of those areas where it's really, really behind. I'm going to be fine. I'm still going to be telling my husband about my fast. So if something does go wrong, he can say, she hasn't eaten for this long, check on this, if he has to talk to a doctor and I'm unconscious or something. But just the way the last 2 weeks went, how awesome they were, I have zero fear. The only thing I'm afraid of is this upcoming 3 days. I'm afraid that I'm going to cave, that I'm not going to be able to push through and make it. And that's why I need your help. I have all these accountability things. I'm going to be having my number on my hand. I have several counters on my phone, like an hour counting app and a day counting app, and like a countdown timer. Like I said, my Facebook groups. I keep a little written, just kind of stream of conscious. It's like a bunch of papers that I stapled together, and I will just kind of write, like, why am I fasting today? I feel like this. I want to break like this. All this stuff. That's what I write there. So my plan for breaking on November 5th, so we're going out to that restaurant. It's P.F. Chang's, and I believe they have sushi. And what I would really like to do that day is, have like 2 or 3 cucumbers just to kind of get full. And then I would rather not have the rice, because carbohydrates are one of the things that make getting back into fasting harder, just because I have to burn through glycogen. And I have definitely had plenty of carbs this week, so that's why this next few days is probably going to be a little bit rough. Wow, getting up on 20 minutes, and I'm not going to edit this at all, so just like speed through it. But yeah, I want to mostly try and eat like fish that day. So even if I have to supplement that meal with some fish earlier in the day, I want it to be as little of a bump in my overall fast for November as possible. But at the same time, I want to go out with my husband and enjoy it and celebrate the years that we've had together. So, okay, I know this has still got really, really long and rambly. So I'll be reporting in, I'm going to do the short videos for at least the next 14 days. So I'll see you guys there. And already, thank you so much for your help, everybody who's commented and cheered me on, or even, questioned me so that I have to pull out my defenses and defend myself and share information with you. Thank you for giving me the opportunity. Okay, see you guys.